Welcome everyone to Dokeycraft episode 9, and today we have a lot of plans that I want to achieve. We have been messing around with data packs for this server, and one of them is we have brought in crafters and tough blocks and all the new 1.21 features. However, there are things like the trial chambers which won't be added in. If you don't know, these items basically are in the new update, which hasn't been released now and probably won't be released until later. And so we want to get a taste of it, so we've added in like the crafters, the new copper blocks, and the tough blocks as well. That is going to be so useful because now we have crafters, which crafters are a big thing in Minecraft, automating the crafting. I probably won't have anything towards that in the storage system. I'll be using it for things like the gold farm, the raid farm, and all of that. So I want to mess around with these at the start of the video because I haven't actually played around with them much at all. Even in the new snapshots, I haven't even played with them. There it is. And yes, the recipe was correct, and we have now got a stack of crafters. I have not seen one of these in person. I want to start. You can lock spots as well, so they won't actually fill up. I actually want to test this out. Okay, so that turns on automatically. Oh, it's because these slots are filled up. Right. I'm thinking of using this concept here, which doesn't look like much. As soon as I turn my redstone pack on, you can see a little bit more now. You can see that this is 15 and this is 14 for how powered the redstone is, the signal that it's receiving. And this observer will detect once that turns to 15, which will be when the comparator reads this hopper is 100% full. I'm going to try and get into a testing world. And I want to start playing around with this crafter. Oh, and there's some of the other stuff as well. The copper bulbs, which are pretty cool. But the main reason we're here is for the crafter. So I want to try using a little bit of a redstone system. Sort of is like this. So if we have a block there, let me get... Nope, that didn't work. I want to see what the redstone signal's like for this. Okay, so it gets up to 9. I know this isn't the most productive way, but I want to test this out, see if this works. So if I add a hopper in there and I put some redstone in it, it should spread out. Okay, that worked. Because the observer's detecting this going up because it's filled up. And that actually works out. Just something like this could also work. This is definitely a lot smaller than that, which is very good. So as soon as I put in a stack of this, it should hopefully work once that fills up. Oh, yep, that worked. That 100% worked. It's because I'm using the composter to subtract the amount of power that this gets. So I want to go test this out now. I just got to craft some composters, which was able to get quite a bit. I also need something to put into the composter. My chests are so full. The reason they're so full is because, especially this chest here, you can see that I was collecting all of the items in the game, so I had to craft up a whole heap of these items, and now the spare ones are in here. How does bamboo not work in one of these? Okay, we'll do a sugarcane. We actually don't even need these shulker box loaders here anymore. I forget how loud this place can be. So now with the shulker box loaders removed, we have added in these things here which automatically turn all the gold nuggets into gold ingots and then the gold ingots into gold blocks, and it works perfectly. This is about 5 hours of AFK, which could have been better compared to our previous results, but it's still a lot of gold, and it definitely works. You don't have to sit here manually crafting all of this anymore. You can actually get it to do it for you, and it means that no gold will be wasted as well, because this can keep up to speed with this system. So once this tin is full, you will see that it will dispense the gold block into this chest here, and it will become 58. Oh, there it goes. And yeah, there you go, 58 gold blocks. We've got the same design as we had before, which has the composter sending a result, so it subtracts the redstone dust and then shoots it out once it is all full. And then that turns into a gold ingot and then repeats the same thing for the gold block. So that was simple. Yeah, it is very effective and will save heaps of time as we have to spend hours just sitting here crafting up all of the gold nuggets into gold ingots and then into gold blocks. So having this will be very useful, especially for the piglin bartering farm, which is down over there, as we will be able to get all the quartz, all the obsidian, all the blackstone, all of the necessary blocks that we're going to need for our base and other projects. As we head back to base, I want to tell you what the next part of the video is. Now that we've messed around with the crafter a bit, I probably won't be implementing it, as I said earlier, into my storage system. However, I want to do a couple more things with it later on. But the next part of the video is terraforming. So let's hop into a terraforming time-lapse where you do some building, and let's start up these mountains. I know it doesn't seem like much, but this here took hours to achieve and it is looking absolutely amazing. It fits in so well with the castle. You can see the mountains coming over and you can see how Helm's Deep is now looking and why I waited to complete the actual build itself before I started terraforming, because all the mountains around kind of fit in with the actual design itself. However, down the back there is a bit of empty space, and I will be connecting this mountain over the top and making it a little bit more realistic, as well as I'm going to be making the mountains a lot taller as well, probably just as taller than that. And obviously this wall here will be going along. I haven't started it yet. I did say I would start this episode, but I want to wait till the right time to start it. This is going to come across to the other side, and obviously there's going to be mountains over this side as well. So a lot of terraforming to do, as well as I've started down here. You can see now what I mean about this little area here where Gimli gets thrown across onto the bridge to fight the orcs. And yes, I still haven't touched the bridge. I've still got a little bit of terraforming to do before I actually build on this again. But yeah, so far I'm really happy with how these mountains are turning out. Apart from there is a couple mobs underneath. Another thing I wanted to show you is behind over here where the chest system is. You can see that I've mined a little bit more out the back of the mountain here. It wasn't much to deal with because there was already a massive open area, a massive cave here that kind of just exposed it already. All I needed to do was flatten this out, so that didn't take long at all. As well as back here, I've just added one little thing as well, which is the item elevator, this thing here. Basically, this is the connection up to where the items come from. Once they get unloaded from the shulker box loader, they then go into this here, which basically shoots up your items into the storage system. So if I put in, I don't know, a couple arrows into this hopper here, you'll see that it actually starts shooting it up here. Oh, if I can even land. But you can see these arrows now got sorted into their category right here. If I try with the shulker box, you'll see, press this button, the shulker box will go down there, get unloaded, the arrows will go into the item elevator, the shulker box will do its usual thing, go in there, but you will now be able to see that the arrows are coming through and getting sorted into their little category here. It wasn't anything too big, just a very simple design, as it uses droppers that get detected once an item is flowing through them. But so far this base is coming along very well, and we've still got that next section of the storage system to do, as well as more terraforming, because we've only just started the terraforming. This here is a lot, but it's nothing compared to what we actually still have to achieve. Like obviously I've got to do over the top here, over the top of this section as well, and connect it to the other side. As well as I do have to do a little bit of terraforming here so I can hide away these big stone areas, as well as this. I need to connect this to the ground on the other side here, making it look like it's a bit hidden. So that mountain that's starting all the way over at Helm's Deep there comes all the way over the top and is going to finish up basically over here. So the mountain itself is actually bigger than the base. So definitely going to be here a while, but that is probably going to be one of the final tasks I'll be doing on Helm's Deep. Another thing I want to do at some point is possibly blow up this mountain, because we've got tons of TNT. With also the creation of World Eaters, it will tear through this mountain. But the reason I want to do that is if you look in the movie, it's basically a massive open fields in front of the actual Helm's Deep castle itself. And so clearing up this area will be very good. And I'll also be able to do some terraforming just to make it a little bit better instead of just flat land. And I'll also be able to introduce those small details that I in the movie that will be out on the field kind of area, which is in front of Helm's Deep. So this here is the variety of new tough blocks that have been added into Minecraft, and they look absolutely sick. I don't know how much of that I want to add into my base, as I've already basically completed the interior of Helm's Deep, and I don't want to change things up and redo the whole entire thing. However, I will want to add a little bit of them into some smaller details, such as the storage system and other pathways that go around the base. I might also try and add a little bit of tough into the terraforming around the base, because then it will just look a lot cooler and it'll have different variety of blocks in the actual terraform instead of just stone and dirt. However though, I do really like it just being stone and dirt. I don't really want to change it up much. I'll give a go at some tough blocks here and there, but I don't want to like change up the whole entire thing. So what I'm just doing now is I'm freeing up a little bit of space in this storage here, as these chests were absolutely full of just the most random items. However, a lot of the items I actually have in my shulker box loaders, and so I'm able just to take out a couple of these items to put them into that storage system. And so I was able to free up a lot of space. But it's also a main test to make sure that the whole thing is working, and it seems to be working absolutely amazing. I know I've said this a lot of times, but I am so paranoid about it just not working one day, and I just want to make sure that everything works to the best of its ability. As you can see, I've got plenty of shulker boxes to go through with plenty of items, but in the end, it actually seems to be working out very well. As you can see now, right now, it's sorting out dirt. The lamps light up whenever there's an item being sorted in that category. And so right now, it's probably got a chance of sorting out obsidian, blackstone. Yeah, obsidian or blackstone, because how the lamps work is it's the one next to the last lit one that will be sorting out. So in this case, it will be sorting out obsidian right now. However, we've got tons of that from the obsidian farms we've had, as well as the piglin bartering farms. So the next part of the video I want to work on is actually this storage system. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of items here ready for this big storage system. Now, this actually isn't as big as last season's storage system, but it's still decently sized. Like, I'm going to use up basically almost all this area here. It might be a little bit too big, this area, but obviously I made it big enough just in case I extend it or do extra features onto the actual build itself. Now, there's still a couple materials I am missing. These two shulker boxes here need to be filled up with shears, because this item sorter uses a lot of shears. And I know it's a bit confusing why it uses shears. It's because it uses them to send out a redstone signal from either the barrel, the minecart, and it uses them, yeah, to send out a signal to show, okay, this has an item in it. Now, this chest here is probably also a little bit confusing. That's because it's full of stone buttons, and I do not need them to be placed down. Instead, these are going to be filters. If we come up to this storage system here, you'll see that each one of these items here have these filter items right here to stop any other items coming in that is not this item here. So that's what I need to turn all of these stone buttons into. I don't even think this is enough. The only reason I chose stone buttons is because I had a million bits of stone. But there's one issue, and that is I'm at level 6 right now. Because, well, Starkin's actually murdered me. We won't talk about that. So we need to go to the Prismarine farm. I'm glad I've built that now, because we need to get a lot of levels. I'm going to need 27 levels because there's 27 stacks of stone buttons in here. I also need to grab an anvil so I can actually name these buttons. And I'm also going to gather the shears while I'm over in this area as well. I'll be back once I've named all these buttons. And yes, the reason I have to name these buttons, I filter items, is basically because if I put actual buttons into the system, then they'll just get sorted into the filter item section if these aren't named. But because they're named, no other items can be sorted into that stack, which is this here. Last one, and that should be all of the buttons. Now with that done, now let's go grab all these shears. That should be all the shears. I made a little bit extra, a little bit too much, but no harm having some extras. And that should be all of the items ready for this sorting system. Let me dump all those extra shears in there. I'll bring the anvil here as well, just in case I need to have more filter items, but I'm pretty sure that should be enough. Let's get a start on this next part of our storage system, which is going to be the layout. So let's quickly build a layout to see how big this is going to be. So that there is kind of the layout that I'm going to go with. Obviously, It is not too much at the moment because this is just the size, and obviously I'm not counting all the redstone that's going to be out of the back as well, but this is directly in the center of this storage system, and I have to put it a little bit away so it doesn't interfere with all this redstone as well. I would bring it closer, but I didn't really plan that far ahead, but it's not a big deal, and I'll be making pathways in between all this. And that there is the total amount of chests we're actually going to use for this build. Isn't too many, but this will actually supply us for the rest of the season, and will store every single item in the game. That doesn't include non-stackables though, which obviously will have their own sorting system, as you guys already know, down there, and they will go off and be sorted in their own category, but I'll worry about that later. But I reckon let's go into a second time lapse of the video, because we've got quite a bit of redstone ahead of us to build this whole entire system here, and I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to be able to sort basically every single item in the game. So let's hop into a time lapse where we build this redstone machine. So as we come flying down through here, you'll see that we've now finished the multi-item storage system that comes around this place. It is absolutely insane and can sort out every single item in the game. I haven't added any details yet, it's just stone bricks for now, but look at how cool this is, and it will sort out all the items we are ever going to need in the game. As I said earlier, the non-stackables such as swords and armor and all that will be worked out later and be sorted into their own category. But we've basically done every item in the game right here. However, there is still a couple more steps we are going to need to do, and that is actually to put all of these blocks into the configuration system so then we can actually sort out the items themselves. Because I haven't actually put these items into the system yet. Because there is a reason why I needed multiple of each item, and that is because you need the item itself in order to sort it out. Let me show you what I mean by this. This here is all the buttons that I was talking about that needed to be turned into filters, as well as some of the shears that were used. As soon as I take a button out of this redstone signal here stops, turning on this torch, as well as opening up and unlocking this hopper here. But as soon as I put it back in, this redstone dust here turns on, and this comparator is back on, and this redstone torch is back off. So that's kind of how this sorting system works. So if I take out, for example, just a couple of these logs here, how I put them in is I can switch these out for one of these buttons, and the signal still will be on. Let me go find some jungle logs somewhere. Pretty sure I've got some over here. Or some dark oak logs. I'll use some dark oak logs, for example. When I put these dark oak logs in here, you'll see that that minecart then comes over to collect the dark oak logs, and you'll see that the dark oak log is now out of here because the minecart collected it and then it puts it back. But what it does is it unlocks this little hopper right here, so then all of the items can actually go into this system here. It is such a smart system. Once it's done, it will then end up back there. And now when we have a look, you'll see it's sorted out all the dark oak logs into their category. Then at the end over there, you'll see that there's a category for items that do not go in the system or I have forgotten. They're also there for any areas that are full as well. So if I have a section that is full of dark oak logs, for example, the rest of them will go over there. So I'll just have to keep an eye on that, but I can use shulker boxes to help keep that organized. But yeah, so in case I've forgotten any items or any future items come into the game, such as future updates and all of that, they will get sorted into there. So if I put like 2 golden carrots in there, you'll see that they will get sorted into that area over there. And while I'm here as well, you'll see that I've actually got some spare chest systems here. I've actually got, I think, 4 columns here and don't actually have any items that can be sorted there. And that's for future updates. In case any new blocks come in, they will just be added into these new chests here. And don't worry, I have added the new tough variants, and I've added in the crafter. I still got to collect some of these armor trims. I'm not too fussed about it yet, but I will do that at some point. It's got a cool pattern as well. When the items are being sorted, you'll see it does like a little snake pattern kind of thing and leaves a trail, and then they all turn off once it's sorted. But as you can see, those items have now gone into the non-sorted category system. Now, there are a couple downsides about this, and that's first off, this thing here can't sort out shulker boxes and will break if any shulker boxes are in there. However, that is where this comes into play, and it's able to sort out all the items, separate them from the shulker boxes, as well as non-stackable items such as swords, armor. All of that cannot be sorted in there, and that's also why it's separated over here. There is another downside here, and that is once the items get sorted through this system here, they end up in that area there, which is the opposite side to where my system is. So I'm going to have some sort of way to get the items to flow down over to this system here, which may be a bit painful, may involve some more hoppers, but I'm not too fussed about that as there's not too much redstone going on here that will lag out the game. And yes, that lamp there's always going to be on. I am going to probably get annoyed at that over time, but I'm not too fussed about it. This redstone power here is actually powering that lamp, and there's not really much I can do about that unless I bring this forward one, but that's going to be a bit painful as these won't light up as much anymore after that. But yeah, let's get in these item frames and let's start configuring the system. So we are back, and yes, I haven't added all the items in yet, but however, I've added all their categories and making sure that they're all aligned, like doors, for example, are here, signs are here, stairs are here, you know what I mean. So everything's ready to be sorted out. I've got 4 chest systems that don't have any items assigned to their category, so they will be for future updates, as I said earlier. Now, let's go add in all of these items into the system and make them ready to be sorted. So that there is what I'm after for each category. So I've replaced all the filters with this. 2 things I wanted to mention quickly as well. There are 2 ways that this system can also break, and that is first off, mobs. As usual, there are creeper explosions, all of that, but if a mob gets on top of this rail and sends the minecart the wrong way, it can actually break the system. And I would sometimes add slabs on top of this so then the minecart can go in without any issues, but there are sometimes chances it could get stuck and hit the slabs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big glass platform over the top of this system, just so it can stop any mobs from falling from above until I am able to cover this place over. As well as the second option on how to break this system is to actually put the filter items into the system. If I put these in there, the system is going to break, as it will then just go through and unorganize each one of these chests because they are the same items as this. Because the reason we had to rename these is because there's no such thing as these items in the game. So as long as I don't put any filter 2 items into the system, it won't break. We have now configured all of the chests, and if we come look at them behind the area, you'll see that they all have their own type of items sorted. Now, there is one thing, as you can see here, there are empty spots. These banners here, and same with signs, snowballs, ender pearls, all of those only stack up to 16, which is 1/4 of a stack. And so every time there is a stack of 16 item in one of these chests to configure, it equals 4 buttons, or 4 filter items, I should say. Instead of me replacing an item with the button like that, you have to replace 4 buttons with the banner. So one of these is equal to 4 filter items. And so there wasn't enough to fill up this whole entire chest, as in buttons. I still had to remove some more, and so what I did is I replaced one of these shears with a stack of filter items, as one of these shears is actually worth to a whole stack of this. So I replaced it with a stack of this, and then I removed the amount that I needed. So that's the same with the banners, and that's also the same with the signs and the hanging signs. As you can see, this one goes down to 26. But we have now put everything in their spot, so now it's up to the real test. Also, as you can see, I've kind of moved all my stuff from up here down there, so then it's easier just to quickly organize it all into the storage system. Let's just grab the most random items. Andesite, granite, let's grab some mossy cobblestone, some oak leaves, a skulk shrieker, let's just grab those, and let's just put them all in here, and I'll add some golden carrots so then it can dispose those in the non-sorted category. So the first ones should be sorted in there. Where's Skulk Shriekers at? Oh yeah, they've got their own spot here. As well as I have done a little bit of movement, like I've got a shulker box of leather. I am not going to wait for it to sort out all that, so I've just added that in the chest system. It also frees up a bit of space. I've done that also with some of the bamboo. Ah yes, nether bricks. And bricks. I have plenty of nether bricks from making the eye at Starkin's base, but then I've also got some spare bricks. I don't know why. I must have put a whole heap of clay in my super smelter, expecting to use so many more bricks and flowers on Helm's Deep, but I haven't really touched that, to be honest. Okay, so the granite is definitely in there. It's sorting all the leaves out now. Oh, this is actually working. I'm actually so happy. I need to remember what I had, bro. I forgot what I put in the chest. I reckon... Is it going to sort out the Skulk Shrieker? Because that should end up right there. Mossy Cobblestone. Hey, it's working. It's working. This machine is going to be so useful. Organizing all the items for me and saving heaps of time instead of me just sitting here and sorting it out myself. So this automatically does it all for me without me having to do a single thing. There's the andesite. It has. Wait, is that everything? I think it's the golden carrots that I left. I love this pattern that it gives out. It leaves like a trail and then it flashes. Once it reaches the corner, it will do like a flash or everything will go away and then it starts it up again at the next corner. I really like that. It's actually pretty cool. And yeah, so let's see if that's everything. The golden carrots are there. The Skulk Shrieker has arrived. The oak leaves are there. Granite and andesite are there. And what else did I put in there? I forgot what else I put in there. Oh yes, mossy cobblestone. So everything went to its spot. I am so happy with how that turned out. Everything's working out so well. Yeah, so now I have to put all of this mess into there, basically. However, I can't really unload these shulker boxes at this point because I haven't even connected the system up to it yet. Because right now, the items that cannot be sorted end up in there. I also need to do at some point decorating this place because at the moment it's just a whole heap of redstone. But I've already got slightly an idea of what I want to do. As you can see, I've already implemented it in this area here as well. But then I need to implement it everywhere else. So I'll do that, but I've got one more section I need to complete, which is this storage here, which is the non-stackable items, which end up in this hopper right here. So what I'm going to quickly do now, to end off the video, I'm going to connect this area here over to the other side. I don't know how I'm going to do that, or specifically to that chest right there. Might do a hopper line, but I kind of want to prevent server lag, so I might do a water stream, but there are lots of ways I could do this. I could even add one of these elevators, and then I'm going to put all this stuff into the system. So that's the plan to end off the episode. Oh my gosh, this feels weird. All my items are scattered everywhere. I don't know what to do and to find them all, bro. So what I've just quickly done is I've added just a little hopper line down there. It isn't the most efficient thing, but considering this whole thing is only at hopper speed, it's not going to slow down the system at all. Because I've put composters on top of them, it actually reduces the amount of server lag by a whole lot. I believe it just stops the hopper from continuously checking if there's an item above it, which when there's so many hoppers doing that can cause lag. But when there's a composter on top, it actually stops it from doing that. The real test now is, will this sort out all these items? Actually, you know what? Let's test out this one here. It's got non-stackables and it's got all this other stuff in there as well. Let's test this out. If I put that in there, I'm scared, bro. I'm actually scared. Let's just hope that the boat ends up in this area here. The boats do! Hey, that works so well. Now all the items are going straight through the whole system. Let's just wait, let it do its thing. Well, all the items have made their way here. And now I can hear the minecart doing its thing, and now it's sorting it all out. It's just sorted out the polished granite. You know how scary it is building these? The reason why I'm so happy is because these types of redstone builds take forever to build and then they just don't work when you finish them. Having something like this work first try is the best feeling. Especially when I'm on a paper server and loads of people say that these sorts of builds don't work on these servers. And I was able to make it so it does. I'm so happy. Like, look at it. It's sorting out all the granite objects together. Oh, this is so good, bro. I need to still put on that glass platform above the area. Okay, this thing has finished sorting it out. I actually don't even know what items I put in there. So I'm just going to go chest by chest to see what items. There you go. Oak planks, bamboo planks, acacia wood, a fence. Yeah, it works out very well. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. And now is the part where we add all of this into that little system there. Got a full inventory of shulker boxes that need sorting, plus that. I've just added some extra chests here as well because I'm scared there's going to be non-stackable items that just fill up this system And so I'm just going to add these chests for now until we get organizing system for all of the non-stackables. So after a bit of letting this thing sort out, it is now completed and we have every single item in the game in this little machine. Obviously, there are items like diamonds, netherite, some of the heads, all of that I don't actually have in the system because I'm keeping those in my ender chest. I did, however, add some diamonds and netherite scrap in here just in case they're in the system and I don't even realize. But we have every item in the game in here. You can see that these are all the items I've just had around my base just sitting there doing nothing, and now they're actually sorted into their own system. I actually didn't even realize I had this much redstone. Like, where did these slime blocks come from? I've just had them randomly lying around. Same with like these sticky pistons, and look at how many hoppers we've got. But now that this all works and we have every item sorted, oh, it feels amazing. While this was sorting out, I actually added over that glass roof, as you can see, just to stop any mobs from coming and falling on top of this machine while it's trying to run, until I get a mountain kind of roof over the top. But look at how clean this place is. We no longer have any of these shulker box monsters anywhere, and it's so clean. These are all the stackables that I had in the machine. As you can see, I've kind of sorted them all out into shulker boxes. I've added a little bit of a redstone machine down here as well, which basically sorts out the non-stackables which go here, but it also sorts out the potions. That's what this brewing stand does, and so it separates the potions from the rest of the non-stackable items. So in between now and next episode, I'm going to try and figure out a couple of these machines to figure out how to separate all of the non-stackable items. So that will be the next video's task. And as you can see, we've got plenty of them. I want to sort out the liquids. I want to sort out like the weapons, the armor, the minecarts, the boats, the beds, like everything I want to kind of sort out into their own category. But we'll save that for next episode and you'll see some progress that I have done. So I thank you all for watching this video. It's been a very busy video with all the redstone, a lot of terraforming going on. I'm going to continue some terraforming next episode. This takes forever to do so. So don't expect this to take a short period of time. This is going to take plenty of time to build. I also need to improve the bridge and also start on this wall over here. So I've got plenty of plans next episode as well. I'm also going to focus a bit more on this building as well, because now that we have done our storage system, I can focus less on the redstone and more on the building, so that will be very good. But I will be doing that next episode, and the building here will be later on. I won't do that straight away. I don't know, we'll see what we do next episode. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see yous in the next episode.